Hello and welcome to Storytime with Mrs. Arnold. Today we are going to read a story. It is another fairy tale. This one is called Jack and the Beanstalk. Has anybody ever heard this story before? This is not one that lots of people hear of. It's not like one of the most popular. But we're going to read it today. Are you ready? Let me see. Can I get that a little bit closer for you guys? There we go. Once upon a time, there was a boy who lived with his mother in a tiny cottage. They were very poor. One day, his mother said to him, "Jack, you must take our cow to market and sell her so we can buy food." So he has to take the cow and sell the cow because they don't have enough money for food right now. Jack set out at once. On the way, he met an old man. "That's a fine-looking cow," said the old man. "If you give her to me, I'll give you some magic beans." Jack stared at the red and yellow beans. How exciting! He took the beans and said goodbye to his cow and hurried back home. Jack's mother was very angry when she saw what he had done. "Silly boy!" she exclaimed. "Now we shall starve!" She threw the beans out the window. When Jack awoke the next morning, his bedroom was dark. He ran to the window and saw a tremendously tall beanstalk outside. It seemed to reach up to the sky. They were magic beans, Jack shouted. He jumped out the window and quickly climbed the beanstalk. At the top, he saw a beautiful castle sparkling in the sun. An old woman greeted him as he hopped off the beanstalk. "Don't go near the castle, young man," she said. "A wicked giant lives there. Long ago he stole your father's fortune and left him a poor man." "Then I certainly must get it back," Jack exclaimed, and he strode right to the castle door. Oh no, someone told him not to go and he went. The giant's wife answered his knock. "If you want food, I'll give you some," she said. "But you must hurry. My husband eats boys for breakfast." She gave Jack a slice of bread as big as the tabletop. But even as he ate, there began a great noise outside. Jack leaped into a skillet to hide, just as the giant entered, bellowing, "Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread." He bent down and peered under the table. "I smell boy." "Nonsense," said his wife. "Eat your breakfast." Grumbling, the giant sat down to 10 roasted oxen and 4 barrels of milk. Then he shouted, "Wife, bring me my magic hen." His wife hurried to obey. "Lay, hen, lay," roared the giant, and then the hen laid a golden egg. "Very good," said the giant with a mighty yawn. Soon he was sound asleep. At the first snore, Jack popped out of the skillet, snatched up the hen, and ran off. When he had climbed back down the beanstalk, his mother gasped and wondered. "Jack!" she exclaimed. "It's your father's magic hen!" The next day, Jack climbed the beanstalk again. "I'll give you a bite to eat," said the giant's wife when she saw him. "But hurry, the giant is in a terrible temper because he has lost his magic hen." Did he lose it? No, he didn't. Jack took it. Jack was eating a tart as big as a fish pond when the castle began to shake. He leaped into a butter churn. This is a butter churn. Just as the giant entered, bellowing, "Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread." "Don't tell me you smell boy again," said his wife. "Sit down and eat your breakfast." Muttering to himself, the giant gobbled 12 roasted pigs and 6 dozen eggs. Then he shouted, "Wife, bring me my harp!" Quickly, his wife did as she was told. "Play, harp, play!" commanded the giant, and the harp played such beautiful music that it soon lulled the giant to sleep. At once Jack jumped out of the butter churn, took the harp, and ran away. When he reached the bottom of the beanstalk, his mother was waiting. "Oh, Jack," she said happily, "you have found your father's golden harp." When Jack climbed the beanstalk the next morning, the giant's wife was waiting for him. "I'll give you a snack if you wish," she said, "but you are in great danger. The giant lost his harp yesterday, and he's in a terrible rage." Jack was eating a cupcake as big as a haystack. When he heard the giant coming, he jumped into a pail or a bucket and listened to the terrible roar. "Fee, fi, fo, fum! I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be alive or be he dead. I'll grind his bones to make my bread." "Sit down and eat your breakfast," said the giant's wife. "Then you'll feel better." Mumbling angrily, the giant ate 15 roasted ducklings and 200 sausages. "Wife," he growled, "fetch my gold. That will cheer me." For a long time the giant played with his gold pieces. When at last he closed his eyes, Jack jumped out of the pail, snatched the gold, and he ran. But the giant had only been pretending to sleep. With a roar, he leaped to his feet. "I told you I smelled, boy!" he bellowed as he raced after Jack. Poor Jack ran faster than he had ever run in his life. "Mother, get the axe ready!" he shouted from the top of the beanstalk. As he climbed down, the beanstalk began to sway. Jack looked up and saw that the giant was coming down too. It was such a frightening sight that Jack dropped the gold and tumbled all the way to the ground. Quick as a wink, he jumped up and took the axe from his mother. Smack, smack, the beanstalk snapped in two. There was a great crash, and the giant lay before them, dead. Jack's mother gave him a hug and told him he was indeed a brave boy. "You have brought back your father's hen, his harp, and his gold," she said. "We shall certainly live happily ever after." For who could be sad with a hen to lay golden eggs, a harp to play beautiful music, and gold to buy bread and cheese, and sometimes strawberry tarts? The end. So before we move on, let's go ahead and review who our characters were from this story. Who were our characters in Jack and the Beanstalk? There was Jack, there was the giant, there was the mom, and the giant's wife, wasn't there? What was the setting of this story? Remember, the setting is where does it take place? It takes place up on a beanstalk in a castle. It takes place in a castle up on a beanstalk. Let's talk real quickly about the problem and the solution. What was the problem that Jack had at the very beginning of the story? His family was poor, which means they didn't have much money, so he had to sell the cow. So he sold the cow, but he didn't get money for them. He got magic beans. They were still poor after that point because he didn't bring back any money for his family. So he went up the beanstalk and found out that the giant had stolen all of his family's fortune, which means all of their money. And so what did he do in return? He stole it all back. Now, should we ever steal? No, we shouldn't, right? But this is a story. It's make-believe, which is why he gets away with it. So, your writing prompt for today. I want you to tell me about the setting of this story. Now, remember, the setting is where. We already talked about where it took place, but I want you to write it down. So, the setting was, and you have to fill out the rest. Sound good? Okay. Thank you so much for joining me to read Jack and the Beanstalk today. I'll see you later. Bye.